All right, on this episode of Bowks Talking Bouts, excited to be talking to an individual set to compete at Oktagon 44, which goes down on June the 17th, and a very intriguing welterweight bout with a lot on the line, which I'll get into as the interview progresses. We have Marcel Grabinski taking on Andreas Michailidis, and great having Andreas on the show for the very first time. How's your day going there, man?
It's cool, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great getting to talk to you. And like I was saying, there's a lot to get into with this fight, but just curious to get some of the, early thoughts as you kind of go through this big tournament and everything like that. Just like with the last fight being your Oktagon debut and getting that unanimous decision over Leandro Silva, like it would seem like the, consummate performance. What were your main takeaways from that last one there, beating a fellow UFC vet?
Yeah, it was not a good experience, fighting for the first time in Oktagon. Now it's a very nice organization, and it was full crowd. It was crazy night there, and I fought a very good opponent. Leandro Silva. I think he's like number one in welterweight division. Number two, something like that. He's one of the best guys. And I think he was one of the favorites to win the tournament. So, yeah, it was a good win.
Yeah, and one of the facets of that I guess wanted to get into, just with you being a former middleweight and all, like what was it like competing at 170 pounds that last time out? Did it feel a great deal different at all, or was it smooth and kind of normal, all things considered?
Yeah, the first time I fought was in the UFC. Yeah, after my fight with Pereira, I decided to drop one category down, go to welterweight. Yeah, maybe I didn't feel very good the first time, but after that, when it's the first time, it's always difficult, So the second one with Leandro, I felt better, I felt stronger, I was very good, and this is the way I feel right now. I'm feeling very nice. I feel very good. Like I didn't, I stayed low. I didn't get too much weight, so I think it's gonna be easy weight cut.
Yeah, and did you do anything different to help, facilitate that being kind of an easier cut as compared to like the first time that you were mentioning there?
Well, say again. I didn't hear you.
Oh, no worries. I was just wondering if there was anything you did different the second time out at welterweight that made you feel better as compared to the first time.
Yeah, I think the body has a memory, and it's the second time that your body already know it done it once, so it's easier to do it the second time. And I like I said, I kept my weight a little down, 2, 3 kilos down. It's important, When it's your last, you have to lose like the last day. It's very difficult.
Yeah, well, glad to hear it was an easier experience, and yeah, like you said, probably the body getting more familiarized to everything. But I did briefly mention the fact you're a part of this huge Tipsport Gamechanger tournament for Oktagon, and seems to be drawing a lot of attention for a few reasons. I mean, one of them obviously being just how many great talents at welterweight they have all throughout Europe, but the fact that there's that €1 million component to it as well. Like, what were your thoughts when this idea of, being part of the tournament was initially put out to you? I would think you'd be excited.
Yeah, when I hear it, it was that, when I hear it, the first thing I think is let's call the manager and try to put me in the tournament. Yeah, I was very excited. The money are good, and it's a tournament thing. It's this thing. All the best welterweights, come together and fight for the first place, and I like it. So it intrigued me, and I told the manager, okay, let's do it.
And we were kind of talking before about how that last time out was your first fight specifically, under the Oktagon banner, and having competed for some big shows like UFC and Bellator, just to name a couple. I'm kind of curious, like, what your thoughts were kind of being part of Oktagon relative to maybe some of your other experiences and other promotions previously.
Well, just, I'm telling all the guys who's asking me, because many guys ask me how's it like this question, how's the Oktagon compared? You know, it's like in the same level, like everything, like organization, like the funds, everything is like the same level. You can, let's say, okay, it's not like UFC right now, but it's growing. It's very, everything is good, everything is great. I like this organization, and fans like it, and it's very good. So I would say it's one of the, for sure, the best in Europe, I think, but one of the best in the world.
Yeah, for sure, and very much, seems to, fit that description for sure. Like, I mean, great production value and like a lot of high-level fighters, and another opportunity to, represent Greece on a big stage that seems to be, hugely important for you, just like the history you've made, like being the first athlete from there to compete in different promotions and things like that.
Yeah, of course, I was the first in competing UFC, and first in Bellator, like everywhere. I did a lot of fights. I was the first, like the first from Greece winning in in Russia, and fights in Russia. First to win in UFC. Yeah, and now I'm fighting in Oktagon, and I want to win the tournament, and. Like I said, like previously in other interviews, I want to like put the Greece, the Greek flag, like as high as I can in MMA map, the world. So that's what I want.
Yeah, for sure, and it seems like you're looking at it too, like at least based on a past interview I saw, where it could really serve the master of like inspiring a lot of other fighters to come up from Greece and stuff like that. So have you kind of noticed that growth in the scene from where you're from and everything, just based on what you're doing and all?
Yeah. Everybody, like, and many like coaches from other schools send me messages, and man, we thank you very much, because now the kids, are watching you, and everybody start training, and everybody believe right now that if Michailidis can do it, we can do it too, and it motivates a lot of people here in Greece.
Yeah, that's great to hear, and I love getting those insights from you. But just, talking about embarking on that path to win the tournament, the next step kind of in that pursuit here, facing someone like Grabinski. I mean, he delivered what a lot of people were thinking was one of the bigger, I guess, shocks in the opening round there, just how he dispatched Mate Cortez in the first round and everything like that. Like, what were your thoughts on his, I guess, bout in the tournament to advance to this point, to have this fight with you?
Yeah, he did a good job, stopping Cortez, but I didn't, to tell the truth, I didn't think like Cortez like fought very good that night. Like he do like some takedown attempts very bad, and he get caught very early with a knee. And Grabinski is a good fighter. He has like a very good record, his experience. But I also think, many guys thought, that Curtis, it was one of the favorite, but I didn't see him. I checked his record, and I didn't see him like winning somebody like very good, or I don't know why he was the favorite. Like Leandro, okay, he already won Veliskovich, he won Lahore, he almost knocked out Cosmo. He could be favored, I don't know why they thought Curtis wouldn't be favored, but still, he's a good fighter, okay? And Grabinski took him out. Grabinski is dangerous, yeah, of course, I know it. Very experienced guy, but I think I have more weapons, He's actually more of a boxer. I have more weapons. I think I have better wrestling, better kicking. I have more weapons than him. He has mostly strike with his hands. He's a puncher. So I think I'm better in many things than him, and that's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the grappling, but it also looks like you were getting in some good boxing rounds with Jason Soteropoulos a few weeks ago. So it seems like that part of the game is, pretty polished too, or you're endeavoring to grow the skills too even more.
Wait. Tell me again.
Oh, I was just saying, like, to your point about the boxing, I saw you getting in some boxing rounds with Jason Soteropoulos a bit ago.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I also did a lot of boxing in this preparation. Trying to, and I always trying to improve everything, but I don't think his boxing is. I think my boxing is the same level, maybe better. I don't know. We're gonna see, but for sure my kicking and my kickboxing is better, and my wrestling is better, and for sure my jiu-jitsu is better. So overall, I'm a better fighter. That's what I think. Now in the fight, you don't know what's gonna happen, so you always have to be careful, and that's it.
Yeah, and maybe this question is kind of, antithetical to what you just said almost, but I'm just curious how much you think maybe the size difference or the perceived size difference at least could be a factor in this one, because you fought as high as light heavyweight and Grabinski, like even a bit before this fight competed as a super lightweight. Like, do you think the size is going to be a big factor in this one, or not so much?
Yeah, of course. I think I'm like one of the biggest welterweights in the tournament. Grabinski was fighting lightweight, something like he was doing a lot of catch weights. I've seen his fights. He's doing a lot of catch weights, but he's not like a big welterweight. Like, I'm gonna be bigger, size matters, And if we go to wrestling, it matters more because you're gonna have to carry with the weight, But yeah, of course, this is why we do a weight cut, so we know we're bigger the next day. So I think it's gonna, it's a factor, yeah.
And I kind of touched on some of your, preparations just a bit ago. I guess I'm curious, like, who you've mostly been getting in work with, because it seems like EFL Academy is like the predominant space. Like, I saw a bit over a year and a half ago, you were getting in work at MMA Masters and had a picture with Colby Covington, but it does seem like EFL is the main space. And I guess to that point, who are the main sparring partners you've been working with ahead of this fight?
Yeah, EFL is my center. Yeah, I do my preparation outside also, like All-Star Team Sweden and MMA Masters in Miami, But yeah, my central, my base camp, it's in Greece. It's in EFL. But we also are people coming, helping me with wrestlers, strikers, like people I know, they come and help me with the preparation many times.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, obviously not getting too ahead of this fight or, overlooking this opponent, but just the nature of the tournament structure. Like, we know that your next opponent, if you were to get the victory here, would be Louis Glismann, and that would be in the semifinals later on in the year. Like, what are your thoughts on, I guess, him as a fighter, but specifically his own effort where he kind of punched his ticket to this point in the tournament? Because it seemed like he had like a, pretty highlight reel kind of win that was getting some traction on MMA, Twitter, and just social media in general.
Yeah. He did the reverse omoplata. The funny thing is, I do it also this kind of exactly this technique I do in grappling sparrings. I was showing it like 3 weeks ago at my, when I'm coaching some guys. I was showing the technique. I was doing this like 10 years before, and I was like thinking maybe I'd do it in the tournament also. And I saw him. That's crazy. I was telling the guy, we were laughing at the gym. I like this. I like this technique also. I do it a lot. So, he's a grappler. I already know that. He has decent takedown. And he's grappler. But I'm not afraid of like grappling. I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu also. I was wrestling as a kid. But to tell the truth, I don't want to look forward. I just want to focus right now on Grabinski. And, let's think about him after,
Yeah, for sure, and definitely some more, questions I have about this next fight here. But I think one thing I guess I wanted to touch on, just because you have the previous competitive history with him that we kind of touched on a bit ago, just with Alex Pereira moving up to fight Jan Blachowicz at light heavyweight. Like, what are your thoughts on that fight? Do you have a particular idea of how you see that fight unfolding? Is it a fight you're excited for? Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's yeah, what I think is I think like he's like he should fight some other guy before he goes straight to Blachowicz. Look, I mean, stand up, like Pereira is it's very dangerous. Okay, we already know it. But Blachowicz, take Adesanya, take him down very easy, and also stand up with him very good. So he's very good fighter. I don't know if he can take Pereira down and control him. Okay, but Pereira is not easy to take him down. He's tall. He's very strong. He's strong, but he's strong maybe for me. And I was welterweight. He was a light heavyweight, cutting down to middleweight. So maybe for Blachowicz is very big also. So I think Blachowicz is favorite. Yeah, I think he's gonna take it down, and he's gonna win. But let's see. But Pereira is always dangerous. He was also controlling all the round. Slowing down, then he throw the knee. That's it. So he's always dangerous. Maybe first round he take it down. He couldn't finish. He can't finish him. Second round the same, and third round he catch him with a punch or a knee or something, and he win. You never know. But I think. Blachowicz is favored in this fight.
I mean, definitely a good breakdown. Just shows all the different, I guess, nuances of the sport and all the variables, what can happen and all. But I guess going back to your fight here, because there was an interview that I saw your opponent Grabinski had with James Lynch of My MMA News, where he was kind of giving his prediction of the fight and, seemed respectful in what he was talking about, credited you as a very good opponent and someone who's very much powerful, but he was kind of touting his conditioning and what he could do in the fight. And then he was saying that in terms of a prediction that he could see himself finishing you in either the second or third round. How do you see, this outcome panning out in the fight? What do you think is going to happen in this upcoming bout against Grabinski?
I don't think, I'm not sure. I think it's gonna be 3-round fight. Look, I tell you the truth. Maybe and maybe not. Maybe not. If Grabinski will come forward, and stand up and exchange, I don't think he gonna come with I think I can hit stronger than him, and I'm stronger like him. If he goes straight on me, I don't know. I think he's not gonna go 3 rounds. But if he's gonna keep distance, it's difficult. It's difficult, because the last fight, I thought I'm gonna knock Silva out, and it didn't work. So, but I think it's gonna go 3 rounds. I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, very intriguing fight in a lot of different regards, but I also want to be mindful of your time and the rest of your schedule, Andreas. I guess to that point, though, is there any final parting thought you might want to add as we're wrapping up here?
Oh, no, I think we covered everything. I'm good.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I appreciate you giving some time ahead of this great fight against Marcel Grabinski. A lot on the line with this Oktagon 44 fight as far as how the Tipsport Gamechanger tournament is going to go down. And yeah, very much looking forward to seeing that fight on June 17th. But until then, you have a good rest of your day there, Andreas.
Thank you very much. And thank you for having me on your show, man.